All right, we're looking at page 16 in your traditions book. And the first thing we want to take a look at is we have a new note here. This new note is B flat. It's on the middle line of the staff. We finger this B flat with the first valve down. It sounds like this. Play that B flat with me. Listen and then join me. Keep repeating that note over and over till we're real comfortable getting that note to play every time. Okay, this is line 56, warm-up chorale, and we're going to look at the part A first. So let's look at the first four measures of part A and say the note names in finger. Here we go. Letter A, ready, begin. F, F, G, A. New note B flat, hold, A, hold. B flat, A, F, G, F, E, hold. Now we want to make sure that we observe the slur marks. So we only tongue the first note under each slur. So finger along with me while I play that. Ready? Now. Okay, so now let's play that together. Ready? Here we go. Play the first four measures together. Ready? Now. Now let's look at the second four measures of part A. Notice the first two are the same as the very first two measures that we went over. So let's say and finger that. Ready? Now, F, F, G, A, B flat, hold, A, hold. F, A, G, F, F, E, F. All right? Finger and say that while I play it. Last four measures. Ready? Okay, now let's play that together. Last four measures. 1, 2, last 4. All right, now let's go all the way through it. I'm going to record this one time only going all the way through. You can back it up and finger and say and play along with the recording. So let's go all the way through this together. Here we go. 1, 2, and... So keep backing this recording up and say the note names in finger and play all the way through it with me. Okay, now we're looking at 56 part B. We're going to do this just like we did the first one in four measure section. So let's say and finger the first four measures. Ready? Here we go. F, F, E, F, D with the third vowel slide out. F, hold. D, D, F, C, B, D, C, hold. Now this time you say while I play. Say and finger while I play. Ready? First four. let's play that together. This is the first four measures. Ready? Part B. 1, 2, play it with me. Now. All right, now let's look at the second four measures of part B. Let's say the note names and finger together. Here we go. F, F, E, F, D, with a third valve out. F, D, F, G, D, C, C, F. We can leave that third valve slide out when we're going back and forth between these notes, when we're going back and forth to D. As long as we don't use the second and third combination, we can leave it out. But if we have to use second and third, it has to come back in. All right, you say in finger while I play the last four measures. Ready? All right, let's play that together. Just the last four. Ready? Now. Now that we've gone through this in sections, you can keep backing this up and working on it in the four measure sections until you have it worked out completely. Now we can go all the way through it. I would suggest that you finger along and say the note names a couple of times while I play, and then keep backing the recording up and play along with me. Here we go. Letter B. 1, 2, letter B. So keep backing this up and going through it until you're comfortable with it. And you can play the duet by playing part B with my recording of part A, or playing part A with my recording of part B. Just keep working with this until you're comfortable playing both parts. Now we're looking at number 57, rhythm time. And notice in number 57, in the beginning, in 2/4 time, there's only one note. There's only one quarter note, one beat. We call that an anacrusis, or a pickup note. That means that it's not a full measure, and we normally will borrow that beat from the last measure. So that first measure of 57 starts on count 2. So if we clap and count that, it would look like this. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, off. So do that with me. Ready? So let's clap and count that together. Ready? And now. 2, 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, off. So you can write the counting underneath this and clap and count it as many times as you need. Then it tells us to play this on the note F. So we're going to play F, first valve. So let's play that rhythm on F. I'll give you ready and 1, and we come in on 2. Ready and 1. And keep backing that up and going through it until you're comfortable with the pickup note. Now we're looking at number 58, Skill Builder, Boil the Cabbage Down, and it's a duet. If we look at the beginning of 58, in letter A, there's nothing in your key signature telling you that every note is natural unless it has an accidental. So if we look at the second full measure, that B has a flat sign making it B flat. And once we have that flat sign, then that carries through the whole measure, so both of those B's are B flat. And the same thing happens two measures from, or the third measure from the end. We have that B flat marked, and then there's three more eighth notes, and all of those are B flats. But if we look down at part B, at the very beginning, there's a key signature. We have a flat on the middle line of the staff, which tells us that every note with the name B is B flat. So instead of writing that flat sign in every measure next to the notes, we put it at the beginning as a key signature, and then we just use it all the way through. We just have to remember that every B is flat. So let's look at this. You can look at part A or part B. Doesn't matter. They're both the same. Let's say and finger the first four measures. Here we go. Starts on beat 2 because we have a pickup note or an anacrusis. So it's ready and 1. F, A, B flat, A, G, F, G, G. So say and finger that while I play. Here we go. Ready and 1. Now let's play that together, just the first four measures. Here we go. Ready and 1. Now keep backing that up and going through it. Look at part A, first four measures, then play it again looking at part B so that we can get used to having that flat sign at the beginning and the key signature and not having to repeat it all the way through the piece. Now let's look at the last four measures. Starts on A. Here we go. Ready and now. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 off. So now let's say the note names and finger while I play. Ready? Here we go. 2, say and finger. Now let's play those last four together. Ready? Begin. Now that we've gone over this in four measure sections, we're ready to go all the way through. So I would suggest that you finger and say while I play, looking at part A and then looking at part B, and then play along with me. Just keep backing the recording up and going over and over it. So here we go. I'll give you ready and 1, and I'll start on beat 2 since that's when the anacrusis is. Ready and 1. Now just keep backing this recording up and going over it, saying and fingering and then playing along, and get used to looking at part B and remembering that B flat all the way through. Now we're looking at 59 bingo variations. This is normally a test line, so you want to make sure we practice this a little bit more. I'm going to be playing the part with the little grade notes added in. So you should have go ahead and color those in, and we will use those notes as we go through. We're going to look at just the first line of this, and this has an anacrusis again, a pickup note at the beginning. And this is in 4/4 time, so that one single note at the beginning comes on beat 4. So we have 4, 1, 2, and 3 going into the first full measure. So say the note names with me. Ready? Saying the note names and fingering. 1, 2, 3. C, F, 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 C, C, D, 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 C, 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 F, 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 G, 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 A, hold, F, hold, A, rest, A, rest, B flat, B flat, B flat, rest. Now you say and finger that while I play, or count and finger. We'll just keep backing it up and doing both. Here we go. I'll give 3, and we start on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. Now notice I was playing B flat there at the end, the last 3 notes, because at the very beginning of the line, there's that flat sign on the middle line that tells us every note named B is flat. So this time, play that first line with me. Ready? Here we go. Ready, 2, 3. And keep backing that up and going over it until you can get all the way through that without making mistakes. Now let's look at the second line. So let's say the counts and finger the second line. So we're going to count out loud and finger through the second line. Here we go. 1, 2, count and finger. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, off. All right, now play that with me. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, now. Rest. Now keep backing that up and saying and fingering through that, counting and fingering and playing. So now we're ready to play through the whole line. So we're going to start at the beginning of 59 and do both lines. This starts on count 4. Make sure you look at that key signature at the beginning that tells us that every B is B flat. Here we go. I'll give you 3. 1, 2, 3. So keep backing that up and going over it, doing it in sections, and doing the whole thing until you're ready to take that for a test. Now we're looking at the trumpet private lesson at the bottom of page 16. This is number 60. In number 60, we're practicing throwing out our third valve slide. We want to make sure that we extend that third valve slide right here every time we play D with first and third valve. So we go C, D, C, D, C, D, E, F, G. Then G, D, G, D, G, F, E, D, C. Now, you could leave the third valve slide out the whole way through this because we never use a second and third combination. But the reason that we're moving it in and out is just to practice getting used to throwing that slide every time we press first and third. So, play line 60 with me. Ready? Practicing throwing that third valve slide every time we play D. 1, 2, here we go now. repeat sign at the end, you can keep repeating back. We're not going to do that on the recording just for the sake of time. But keep backing that up, keep going over it, getting used to throwing that third valve slide every time that we press down first and third. Because that's really important to bring that pitch down. The first and third combination is way too sharp on trumpet to use without that third valve slide being extended. So keep backing up, going over it, and working this out until you're really comfortable with that third valve slide.